This video we're going to be talking about symbols and instances in Flash. Now these are essential for animation and for interactive elements in your Flash program. I'm going to do a quick review of our stroke and fill, which were the basic drawing elements of Flash, and we knew that when we were drawing with either the stroke or the fill, they were able to affect each other. Then in a grouped state, we saw that they weren't affecting the grouped state, and that we were able to scale, rotate, and move the group state as one. So now we come to symbols. We can go from a regular drawing object, which would be a circle, and we can turn it into a symbol, or we could create a group state. I'm just going to do a quick group state here by selecting it, and I'm going to press Ctrl G on the keyboard, and I've created a group state. Either one of these we can now convert to a symbol. We're just going to open up the Flash library here, and we see that we've got nothing inside of the library currently, because when we convert an object into a symbol, we're going to see that it's going to show up in the library. So I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to select it, and I can select it and I can right click on it, where I've got an option to convert to symbol. This is the same process as if I go up at the top here, select insert, and once again convert to symbol. If I was creating a new symbol altogether that I didn't have anything selected, I would only be able to create a new symbol, which is Control F8 also on the keyboard. Currently I'm just going to convert this to a symbol, so I'm going to go ahead, I've selected the object, and I'm converting it to a symbol. We're given a choice of either movie clip, button, or graphic, and we've got some advanced options here that we can open up. A lot of these advanced options are used for action scripting when you want to call your symbol and you want to call it onto the stage through ActionScript. You're able to do so down here, but right now we're going to stick with the basics. And we've got a name that we can enter in for the symbol. By default it's giving me symbol 1, so I'm just going to keep it as symbol 1. As you can see below that, we're given a choice of 3 different kinds of behaviors. By default, movie clip is selected. We've also got button and we've got graphic. We're going to be going over the exact definitions a little bit later on, but for now we're going to keep it as the default, which is the movie clip, which is also the most often used. So I'm just going to select OK, and as we can see now, as soon as I selected OK, it's opened up in the library. Now the library contains a master copy of our symbol. If I want to, maybe on the same stage I want to put a few more, I can simply drag and drop. I can change the symbol's appearance. I've got properties that are available to me, where I can change the brightness, I can adjust the tint, and I can adjust the alpha. I can also use advanced to adjust the different settings of the colors and the alpha all together if I wanted to. So I'm just going to select OK. It's given me kind of a default alpha switch here, and as we can see, our original master copy in the library does not change when it's edited, when its copy is edited on our stage. The only time that all of these will change is if we select the master and we make some changes on the master symbol. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that quickly just to demonstrate how that works. If I wanted to, I could select the symbol by double clicking. Clicked on the library, it opened up our symbol. I'm just going to draw maybe a red line through it, and we can see that our master copy is changed also in the library. And if I go back to scene 1, I can see that all of the copies now have a line through it. So this is just something to keep in mind, that when we're changing the different copies, it's not affecting our master copy, but if we do want to make a change for all of the different copies, we would just go to the master copy in the library and we can make the changes there. What the copies are referred to as, they're referred to as instances of the master symbol. So these currently I've made 4 separate instances. We're just going to go through using our grouped object here. I'm going to convert it to a symbol quickly, just calling it symbol 2, and we can see that it's now called symbol 2, and it's also in the library. We're also able to adjust the properties of it. Once again, the brightness. We can affect how bright it comes out. I'm just going to move that down, and we can see that it's really bright right now. Just going to cut that back down. We can adjust the tint of it, which is just the color of its appearance. You see that when you're adjusting tint, there's one thing to keep in mind, that I'm actually losing the color. If I adjusted the tint of the line here, I lose my actually line, which is still there, but when I'm adjusting the tint, it sees it as a shape. It no longer sees the details that are inside of the shape. I'm going to go ahead and adjust the alpha, which is just if it's basically see-through or not. If I move it on top, or just got to find something to move it on top of, we can see that the alpha part is kind of see-through, and we're able to see the object that's below it. The reason that we weren't able to see it here is because this instance is actually on the screen sitting above the other instance here. A good analogy of the way that Flash works, a lot of other programs also work in the same way, is that the first one that you place on the screen is at the bottom level, and as you place different objects on the screen, they are actually placed on top of the original. So if you want to change where it's placed on the screen, you could select modify, you could select arrange, and you can either bring it to the front, bring it forward 1, bring it backward, send it to the back, or you can do this by pressing Control Shift up on the keyboard, and Control up, Control down, and Control Shift down. Or you could lock it in place with Control Alt L, or by selecting from modify and selecting it down. Now the difference between instances and groups on the stage, you can see when we select an instance, we've got a little bit of a center point here, which we're able to move the shape by like this. If we've got an object, I'm just going to group a couple here fairly quickly. Put 2 oval shapes, I'm selecting them both together, Control G to group them. So we've got a grouping here, and we can see that when I select the group, I don't have that center point as appears from the instances. So this is a good way to kind of quickly differentiate when you've got a lot of different objects on your stage, to kind of figure out quickly what's what. That keeping in mind that the grouped, they appear with the blue line around it without a center point, and instances always appear with the blue line and the center point in the center. I'm just going to open up the library here a little bit bigger so we can just see how the library looks, and I'm just going to adjust it to full size here so we can see all the different features here in the library. It's going to list off all the different symbols. If you've got a moving symbol or a movie clip that plays, it will have a play feature here in the top right hand corner. It tells you what kind of symbol it is, whether it's a movie clip, whether it's a graphic, or whether it's a button. We're able to quickly adjust the size of the movie here. We've got a wide view and a narrow view of the library. We can quickly adjust it back down small, or we can adjust it back to the full view like it was up here. We've got the use count, and we've got linkage, the date modified, and down at the bottom here, in the bottom left hand corner, we're able to quickly add a new symbol into the library if we need to. By selecting this, we're able to create a folder where we would help to organize all the different symbols, and we're able to see the properties of each symbol. So we could see that this is basically the name, it's a movie clip. If we change it to a button or a graphic, it's going to be displayed differently. So we can see that this is how the buttons are displayed, and we can see that this is how the graphics are displayed. So we're able to quickly look at it, and we can see the name of the symbol, and we can see the kind of the symbol by the image that's displayed next to it, or we can simply look here by kind and we're able to see it that way. And if we want to delete any particular symbol, we've got the delete key here where we're able to delete out symbols. Now these instances that have been created from the symbols from the library, they are also considered to be the child, and this would be the parent. I didn't want to open that up, but we've got the child here on the stage that we've dragged in, and we've got the parent. So when we do edit properties in the parent, we're able to edit the properties of the child. Now each one of these actually has, this is the main timeline over here where we're able to maneuver our movie, and we're able to add in different frames in, and we're able to add in different layers. The same goes for the symbols, that we're able to take a symbol, double click it, and open up its own timeline. So now we're looking at symbol 1's own timeline, and we can make an adjustment on the timeline to that, or we can make an adjustment of the symbol just like what we did earlier by double clicking it, and we add in whatever information we wanted onto the symbol, and we can see that it instantaneously transforms all of the other childs or instances that come from the master. So we see that whatever we've done here, we've also changing all of the instances that are created from the master. So this timeline belongs to the master symbol. We can select off of any one of these that are on here, and it's all bringing us to the master symbol's timeline. They don't each have an individual timeline, they're all tied together because they are instances of the master. There's benefits and there's drawbacks. We can see that when we change it, it does change the ones that we've changed the properties on, where on this one we changed the alpha, and on this one we changed the tint. We can see that it is still following the master symbol's properties here, but also it's got its own set of properties which have been adjusted, which are, once again, there's the brightness, the tint, the alpha, and there's advanced. So they can, in fact, they can contain their own set of properties. And we can also name each instance here as we need to. If we want to change, we can change from movie clip, we can change it to a button, and we can change it to a graphic. So now we've edited this, and this is a graphic, and it's carrying a little bit differently than the master symbol, which was a movie clip. So there are some attributes and properties that you can change, and some that do stay the same. So if we wanted to open up, we can see this is what's called the master stage, the one that we've been working with, and we've opened up the symbol on the master stage by double clicking the symbol here. If we're clicking the symbol from the library, we're actually opening the symbol up in its own stage here. So this would be the symbol stage here, and we see that this symbol stage, we've got a small crosshair. I'm just going to move the image out a bit, and we can see that we've got a crosshair that centers the symbol. And now when we go back to the main stage, we're going to see that the symbol has moved out from its centers that was originally, and we've got the same crosshairs here that would represent the center as it did from the library in the symbol stage. So we can see that when we moved the object out from the center, whatever amount that we moved it out was the amount that was adjusted on the main stage also, and all of the instances that were created from the main symbol. The symbols are going to be essential later on when we're creating our Flash movies, creating motion, and the tweening between the different objects. So the symbols are extremely important to understand how that they're working on the stage here.